Joe Louis Arena. Great rivalry, Detroit and Colorado. Need we say more?
This is filled as always here in Detroit. Guys, we're talking about the importance of this game for Colorado. Colorado all of a sudden in danger of losing their division lead to Vancouver. So this is a very important game for them. They're only 3 points up on the Vancouver Canucks. Detroit's looking to be #1 overall.
And after Thursday night, to me, it's not about the points, just about the points anymore. I think the rivalry is back. I mean, it was a nasty game Thursday in Denver. We'll see if it carries over here to the Joe.
Nasty warm-up.
Well, yeah, Manny Legacy got hit with a slap shot from one of his defensemen, Jamie Rivers, on the shoulder, but he seemed to be okay. Take a look at it here. That's from inside the top of the circle. Ouch! And Legacy was down for a while, but shrugged it off, took a bunch more shots, and he was outstanding in the previous game and beating Colorado in Colorado. He gets to go here.
We are underway. Kurt Maltby, Darren McCarty, and Edric Zetterberg will be out there for Detroit against Sakic. Forsberg are going to play together at least to start this thing. We'll see how long that lasts. And Milan Hajduk as Colorado grouping together their big offensive players to try and get it going. Tommy Salo, the 33-year-old veteran brought in as a backup for David Abisher, is making the start in net in this game for the Colorado Avalanche. So Salo will be in. It's his third game that he's played in 9 games since joining the Colorado Avalanche. Tommy Salo starting.
Big test for him. This is the biggest game he's played as an Avalanche goaltender. If he plays well here today and say wins the game, what do you think? Do you start a little bit of
no?
Who's going to be the guy?
No. I think you've come this far with David Abisher. I mean, you might
start.
Well, we might start it.
You started it.
Well, yeah, you just started it.
David Abisher on the bench.
Way to go.
Yeah,
First of all, he has to play well to start with.
Tommy Salo beat Phoenix in a start and tied Minnesota in his last start, the 2 that he's had in a Colorado uniform. Avs get the odd man rush up the near side. Detroit hustles it back. Shot and a save made, kick to the side. Barnaby with the opportunity. Barnaby got the first opportunity. The Colorado Avalanche in the last few games, 5 in particular, they've not won. They've had 4 losses and a tie. Barnaby saved. Manny Legacy left it loose. Carried back into the corner. The problem has not been getting shots or chances. Colorado's done that, but they have not scored. That shot by Foot was directed to the near side. And all of a sudden, Colorado here at the beginning of the game has come out hard.
But they had a lot of situations and flurries like that 2 nights ago in Denver and still couldn't get anything by Manny Legacy until it was too late. Interesting, too, Forsberg and Sakic started on the same line. We were wondering whether that was just to avoid a matchup and one of them would change right away. They both stayed out there for the whole shift.
And you know what it means, too? It means Zetterberg went to center ice. That means he's not on the Datsuk Brent Hull line. Steve Thomas was there. So all kinds of different looks here by both teams.
Great pass. Shanahan shot. What a save. Tommy Salo made.
I'm telling you, he's starting in the playoffs.
What a save by Salo as Shanahan opened up. That's John Davidson. Don't listen to a word he says.
It doesn't take long for JD's jury to get back, does it?
Holy moly. He likes those cards and letters no matter what they say. He takes the George Steinbrenner approach. Use my name. I don't care what you say.
Just kidding.
Use my name.
Kidding. This is some pass there, isn't it?
Ray Whitney right out, but Tommy Salo was real smart. He knew that Shanahan would probably have to take a little one-timer across his body, and he was watching push out here on our Southwest Airlines goal cam. Made sure he was out of the paint, cut down the angle.
Both
nice job.
goaltenders start smart here. Both goaltenders make good saves early.
Arnik Zetterberg brings his line back out there. Lidstrom on the bench with Snyder. That Zetterberg trying to tip it into the zone. Could not connect on it, though, and Forsberg drops it back. Let's see if the line changes for the Avalanche in this game generate the offense they're looking for. Joe Sakic is out there. Forsberg and Hajduk are together now. That's going to be whistled on the offside.
Well, the update on Curtis Joseph is, as we're talking a lot about goaltenders early here. Curtis Joseph had an MRI yesterday, and they found a small piece of cartilage that's been torn away from the bone on the ankle itself. He had a cortisone shot today, and they're hoping that that'll be enough for him to get back into the lineup.
Lidstrom shot from center, deflected into the middle. Shot! Tommy Salo made a save as it went wide on the rebound chance. Picked up by Zetterberg and just missed. Back comes Joe Sakic into the middle, trying to drop it to Hajduk. Couldn't get to it. The Colorado Avalanche desperately missing Alex Tanguay. For all the depth and talent they had, Tanguay out of the lineup has really hurt them. Bob Bugner moves it in, centered it. That deflected. Hajduk was cutting into the middle. Back to Peter Forsberg. Forsberg, Sakic, Hajduk. They go to the point looking Bob Bugner near side. He waits for a screen. screen. Tried to go cross ice. That could create a 3-on-2 the other way. Maltby clears it up. Holmstrom got it in. Detroit will change.
And Dave Lewis wanted to get more ice time for Henrik Zetterberg in this game. I'll tell you what, if he ends up matching against Sakic and Forsberg, he's going to get all the ice time he can handle.
Kept both those that shift that line together 2 shifts in a row now
You
for
bet.
Colorado. The big boys are together.
Brought in by Brendan Shanahan. He risked that one into the corner. Paul Correa's out there. Save made, a couple of them. Salo tested early and often. As Tomas Holmstrom cutting through the middle had the chance. That'll roll deeper into the zone. Red Wings Yuri Fischer comes back to get it. Fischer will hold up in behind the net. He is teamed up with Jamie Rivers. Rivers playing in his 30th consecutive game and his 46th of the year. He has gotten in there. He has gotten the job done and has earned some ice time on this Detroit team. Chris Draper, Robert Lang, Matthew Dandino, Jason Woolley, all scratches and injured for the Detroit Red Wings, hoping to get them back within the next couple of weeks for most of them. Chelios bounced it off the wall. Strashnich came back to get it. Strashnich is teamed up with Blake now defensively, although they will roll those defensemen around. Dumped around to the far side, still loose. Into the corner was Chris Gratton. Gratton played a fine both ends of the ice game in Colorado on Thursday. Looking back in behind the net, couldn't find anybody. Williams will pick it up for Detroit. Bad pass in the middle. Gratton had it and lost it.
He got lucky.
That may open it up the other way. Chelios dropped it. Shot! Save on Yzerman's chance. Yzerman gets it in the corner. Couldn't control it though. The Red Wings, when they've had the chances, they're coming right down the chute. Chelios will chase it back. Great to have you with us here on ABC. The playoffs closing in. April 7 and 8, the playoffs start. And the teams, all of them, vying for position.
All right, Colorado's mixing their lines up. You've got Sakic out there with Barnaby now and Solani. It's really a mix mash of line combinations for Colorado early.
Well, a couple of things there. They're trying to find a way to get some goals scored. The other thing is they don't want to make it easy for Dave Lewis to match up here on home ice against them.
Brett Hull did the work on the forecheck, help hold this in. That's what a move! It got blocked, sitting in the pile, looking for it, can't. They've got to play it here. There'll be a penalty, get kicked away to Teemu Solani. Solani turning in a fight at center, maybe. Nope, they won't go. Barnaby had a chance to be into one.
Barnaby's got a bad cut from a previous game and a fight with Darren McCarty.
But this is how Matthew Barnaby frustrates people, cut or no cut. He goaded Yuri Fischer into dropping his gloves by pretending he was going to drop his, and then he tried to get away from him.
And that's Yuri Fischer all the way down in front of the Colorado net. So it'll be power play, I would think, for the Colorado Avalanche. Barnaby does his job in a way, I guess, right, guys?
That's how he gets under people's skin. We've seen it for 10 years.
So Barnaby will create the penalty chance right here.
And Barnaby's 38. He goes in and has the collision with Fischer and then goes at him again. Yeah, you're right, Bill. He went fishing, caught himself a Fischer. That's what he did.
Then Fischer dropped the gloves and Barnaby said, see you later.
Yeah.
So the first power play will go to the Colorado Avalanche.
Guys are saying, way to go, Barney, way to go,
Yeah.
Barney, way to go.
It's getting it done.
Yep.
Now the penalty killers of Detroit will go to work in this series. 3 games played between the two teams. The Avalanche are only 2 for 14 against Detroit. And while the Colorado power play is ranked 3rd overall and number 1 on the road, it has struggled of late. Dropped by Forsberg. Shot save made by Manny Legacy into the corner. The play by Legacy and cleared.
Detroit scores a lot of shorthanded goals, and Colorado on the season gives up a lot of shorthanded goals.
Well, I think this is great for Colorado being in Detroit. They won't get booed here.
That's right.
They did Thursday night. Their power play was really under the gun from the fans Thursday in Denver.
Folks were not happy with it because they have seen it not perform, especially not perform at home. Forsberg to the point. Blake, chance deflected straight up in the air to the dot. Manny Legacy had some visitors in the paint. Back to get it is Forsberg. They give him room. Centering pass couldn't be redirected on net. Picked up by Milan Hajduk. Blake the only one back. Blake along the blue line through the screen. Gets blocked. Maltby clears. Fischer unsportsmanlike was the call at 5:14. That created the power play opportunity here for the Colorado Avalanche, who over the last 5 games have only gone 3 for 23 on the power play, and they haven't won any of those 5 games. That one will be dumped into the wide side. Matthew Snyder came over, sent it over here to Hatcher. Hatcher with Paul Correa moving in. Shanahan bounced it in the air. That gets bounced back to him, and it's moved out of there by Darian Hatcher. Blake will take it back. Only 30 seconds left to go in this Colorado Avalanche power play opportunity. No score. Shots 5-4 in favor of Detroit early in this game. Teemu Solani. Solani out on the power play. Correa's in the middle high slot. Bounce back to him. Looking out at the point. It'll be held in by Joe Sakic, who's working a blue line to Korea. Look at Detroit with the heat on, though. Back into the middle. Fanned on Solani. Goes to the wide side. Over to Solani. Blocked. Blocked by Manny Legacy, and it's clear.
That was a great play by both teams. And then Legacy kicked his left foot out, stopped the pass across, and the fans respond to a great penalty kill by the Red Wings.
Way more aggressive Manny Legacy Thursday night and here so far. I mean, he was really back in his net and waiting for bad things to happen for 2 games. He's not now.
Manny Legacy has been tough here in these 2 starts. Cleared by Lidstrom, so the Detroit penalty killers, ranked 4th in the league and 2nd best at home, get it done. We're back to 5-on-5, and Matthew Barnaby is right back out there on the ice. Lidstrom cleared it into the middle. Stolen back the other way. They get onside as Darby Hendrickson took it away. Dennis Bonvie has been called up by the Avalanche. They are without Peter Morello and flu symptoms. If anybody in the entire world is due to have a fight in this game, Dennis Bonvie is where you want to put your money. Cleared around on the far side. Datsuk's got it for Detroit. Back into the middle. Shot! Save made! I don't think he ever saw it. Did not know where the puck had gone, but Salo has come up big.
Well, we talked about Thursday night. When we come back, we'll give you a recap of Thursday's game between these 2 teams, and that man was big. A souvenir from Thursday night's game in Denver, sported by Matthew Barnaby. The Detroit Red Wings got on the board first. A power play goal in the first period. And oh yes, the nastiness returned. McCarty and Barnaby. That's where Barnaby got the shiner late in the game. It was Cummins and Shanahan also late in the game. Great save by Legacy. And the second goal by Detroit, scored by Pavel Datsuk. That was all the Red Wings would need.
3-1 win in that game for the Detroit Red Wings. Have a 2-1 edge in the series on the year against Colorado. Datsuk on that faceoff got tied up. Colorado Avalanche came away with a win on it. And in their own end. That'll be moved through center and down the near side wall, but not deep enough to do anything with it. And in fact, creating the offside.
It's really kind of interesting. When we were down talking to Dave Lewis before the game, we mentioned that Tony Granato has never really seemed to do what Bob Hartley did often, and that is put Peter Forsberg together with Joe Sakic. And it's really eerie because we walk up here to our booth not knowing how Colorado would start. Who starts together? Joe Sakic and Peter Forsberg.
Yeah, they went a couple of shifts, and they separated Sakic. I think what he's trying to do, Tony Granato, is get his best players who haven't been scoring a lot as much ice time as he possibly can, just to jumpstart his hockey club.
Joe Sakic has had one of the best months of his career. He is now 2nd in scoring in the National Hockey League behind Martin St. Louis, and making a chase at the MVP for the regular season. So Sakic can help out there with the other guys who are not scoring. Peter Forsberg, of course, just getting back into the lineup with the injuries that he had. This will be chased down at the far end and not touched up. Yes, it was. And they will get a whistle. We talked about Martin St. Louis of Tampa Bay, who's leading. There has never been an NHL leading scorer to come out of the NCAA college group. These are the guys who came closest to winning an NHL title with Hull, Stevens, Oates. Paul Correa is playing here today. Martin St. Louis from Vermont has the opportunity to do that if he can maintain the lead. There's Paul Correa. And there's Brett Hull, the man who came the closest to getting there. St. Louis, I believe, was 4 points up, right?
Yeah.
On Joe Sakic starting the day.
And, you know, all of the games for Tampa Bay are at home. And you think, well, you know what, St. Louis got to pile up big numbers at home. He actually puts up bigger numbers on the road than he does at home.
And how about Joe Sakic does the same thing? Joe Sakic has also had, as far as goals are concerned, a better time of it on the road than he has had at home, which is unusual and a strength, obviously, for those players. Hayduke moves it in. Looking in the middle, Sakic. Sakic got tied up, goes after the puck, dropped it back on Holmstrom, who was standing right in front of Manny Legacy. Moved up the near side, just dumped into the zone. Hayduke will come back to get it. Vancouver only 3 points behind Colorado for the division lead. That's what the Avs are concerned with. They could finish anywhere from number 1, not likely, to number 5 if they don't start winning. That one deflected Tommy Salo. Just a blue line turnaround. Zetterberg line creating opportunities. Zetterberg heading to the net. Lidstrom drops it into the corner. Darren McCarty far side. Looking in front for Maltby. They come near side for Zetterberg. Zetterberg just bounced that one right off Joe Sakic. He deflects it to the far side and played up by the Avs.
I like this matchup. I think Zetterberg between Maltby and McCarty gives Detroit more offense. Mark Mowers did a good job Thursday night in Denver playing against Sakic and Forsberg, but with Zetterberg there, now they can play in both ends.
Zetterberg was scheduled to play left wing in the game, but when Colorado made that change, playing Sakic and Forsberg together, they moved Zetterberg to center ice, so they had to make the adjustment, did so.
Midway through this first period and no score. That one went right through everybody along the blue line. Eisman had it, lost it. Teemu Selanne picks it up. Selanne trying to move it in. Chris Chelios puts the stick on, says and takes him down. Back comes Teemu Selanne, and he gets hit by Hatcher for his effort. Selanne's trying desperately to get on the scoreboard. It has been just a disaster of late. Nothing in 18 games for Teemu Selanne, who is a 3-time 50-goal scorer.
Not for lack of effort.
Yeah, he even changed his stick 2 weeks ago from a wooden stick to a different style. I mean, that's dramatic for a guy.
Kicked out of there by Tommy Salo on a centering pass. Salo has had to be looking all over the ice here in this game because the shots have come from everywhere. Dumped deeper into the corner by Connor Walchuk. Played around by Manny Legacy. Intercepted. Legacy got tied up in behind the net. Avs able to hold it in. Barnaby drops it off to Chris Gratton. Gratton leaves it on top, or at least tried. Got deflected and cleared to the line, but not out. Turn around Gratton, and he missed it. On the short side, he didn't get it. Gratton again. It'll trickle in after it was blocked initially by Jamie Rivers. Red Wings, 7 players, 35 years or older. When we come back, we'll tell you how many players the Avalanche have will reach that 35-plus age group. Let's get the age group thing. Just because I'm the youngest here, I have to do this.
Well, I look the oldest.
Well, look at them. Detroit's the second oldest team in the league, but they got a bunch of guys that are 35 or older. Colorado Avs, the answer to the question is 0. They don't have one player. Joe Sakic is 34. For $1,000, we already showed him. I was going to give away $1,000 to somebody if they guessed Rob Blake at 34 as well. Well, next time. We'll get you next time, folks.
Hatcher off the face-off win by Pavel Datsyuk, who won it. It's cleared back to center, poked away. Datsyuk at the red line. He dumps it in along the wall. No score. 8:30 to go here in the first period. 8-7 the shots in favor of the Detroit Red Wings, with nobody on the board. Tommy Salo's been tough, and Hull's shot is deflected. Let's check in with John.
The Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Flyers chasing Tampa Bay.
Thanks, guys. That's 13 straight seasons Jagger's hit the 30-goal mark, and there's only been 5 players hit the 30-goal mark. 4 seasons, the last 4 seasons in a row, including this one.
And as Branch Rickey said, I can finish last without you. Cleared up the near side and out through center. It'll be dumped in by the Colorado Avalanche. Darby Hendrickson got it in. Manny Legacy came back to get it. Still loose back in behind the net. Mowers clears it around the far side. Peter Forsberg kicked in the middle. Hendrickson a shot. Not much on it. Deflected right back to him. He wound up and got knocked down. That shot deflected up, and that goes into the screen. Darby Hendrickson's heading to the bench going, yikes. Can't even get a shot off here. Want to remind you, coming up next, 6-time player of the year, Annika Sorenstam, and 14-year-old phenom Michelle Wivelbach for the first major of the year. It's the Kraft Nabisco Championship. 3rd round action comes your way next. ABC Sports Championship Television.
Darby Hendrickson, I don't think he knew that the Red Wing player behind him was that close. He figured he was out at the point. He tried to get the shot off. He got crushed.
Doesn't that tell you about Detroit? You could get yourself into prime scoring positions in their zone, and then all of a sudden there's no room. They don't panic in their own zone.
They're also playing well for a team that's just come off a long road trip. Their coaching staff had no idea what to expect. Afternoon game right off the road. I mean, usually you're flat off the road.
Connor Walchuk had moved to the front of the net, but the Avs weren't able to get it to him. Connor Walchuk was over there behind the net, and that double squeeze on Matthew Snyder. Snyder on Forsberg now. Peter Forsberg had it tripped into the corner. Puck is underneath everybody. Colorado Avalanche did not get in until 10 o'clock last night. They had a chartered flight, and only one of the flight attendants shown up. The other one quit. They had to wait 5 hours to get on the road. Whistled in the corner. That doesn't count. There was a hand pass here.
Oh, it's starting to heat up, guys. A lot of time in the Detroit zone. Connor Walchuk of McCarty pushing. There's a lot of heat down there right now.
And Maltby went after Hayduk because he let the shot go after the whistle went. And he bulged the twine with it, too. Unwritten rule. Whistle blows. Don't shoot on our goalie.
But nobody seemed to know where the puck was or maybe heard the whistle. It was a strange...
It was a hand pass. We'll see the referee on the bottom right corner away from this. First of all, this looks like a little 7-year-old kid scrum playing street hockey. Peter Forsberg just tried to jump over everybody. Then he grabbed Matthew Schneider's stick. I think it was just blown down for a hand pass ultimately.
It was.
Came back out to center. Bob Bugner will send that one in for the Avalanche. Tough play here. Looks like the playoffs aren't far away. Whitney dumped it. Gets it back. Yzerman, Shanahan, and Whitney on this line. Good coverage. Back on defense, though. The Avs trying to prevent those odd man rushes. Whitney poke checked it away. Bob Bugner was staying back. Two offensive teams. Detroit's number 2 in the league. Colorado is tied for 4th in the league in offense, but they are 1 and 2 in the West in offense. Detroit, Colorado, respectively.
Colorado just made a change with their D-men. I don't think they want Clark and Bugner out there against the Shanahan, Whitney, Yzerman line because they just about got burnt.
Scratched it, got back there and cleared it up. Korea just came off the bench to Solani. A little room. Solani a shot. Oh, hello. Legacy Eichen glove.
Oh, what a nice play by Korea. Korea came off the bench. The puck hit him. His stick was ready, and he made a gorgeous pass to hit Solani in stride.
Teemu Solani's seen this far too often for his liking. The pass hit him on the tape. He's got the new twig, the Easton Stealth's got great jump. It's as light as he's ever used in his life. But Teemu's saying after this, I don't even know if that would have gone in, but he's saying, boy, have I seen that a lot in the last 18 years. Not 1 point.
You're right, though. He's working, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really
great. He's really in traffic, too.
Here's Henrik Zetterberg with it. Zetterberg. And Solani was there, tipped away, can't move it out of the zone. Tommy Salo off the blocker to the near side. Brett Hull had the chance. Hull goes in behind the net. Hull, Datsuk, Zetterberg back together again. That last game on Thursday, we saw them on the ice together. Hull will chase this one down at center. Brett Hull, 25 goals, 63 points on the year, and he heads to the bench. The Avs will take it. Skrastich comes back to get it. He's waiting as Colorado wants to change it up as well. Ours moved in with a little heat there, finding a little room in the middle in order to break it up ice, but both teams having to dump and chase. Barnaby sent it into the corner, came right back to him from Fisher. Nobody along the near side point as the Avs squeeze it into the middle a little bit. Centering pass. That got blocked in behind the net. Trying to hit Darby Hendrickson, who was cutting. Back through center. Detroit Red Wings. Carney looking in behind the net. Didn't have anybody out in front. They weren't changing, just didn't get back there. Darren McCarty gets hauled down near side. Maltby takes a two-hander. Oh, mama. And down they go. Maltby is really into it on the near side.
That's what Bonvie.
Man, he and Bonvie were going at it. And there still are. Barnaby moves in now. Bonvie's 37. We were telling you about Dennis Bonvie. There's a shot. Oh, my God.
No penalty.
No penalty.
Oh, no, but that was Maltby going after Bonvie, and then he bounced off his body hard into the boards.
Dennis Bonvie, the all-time leader in penalty minutes in the AHL.
Full credit to Bonvie for not taking a penalty on the shift, and I think Maltby went after him.
That was a heck of a hit. It's picked up by Correa, drops it off to Chris Gratton. Gratton trying to get it back to him, deflected by Hatcher into the corner. Correa goes down there, the battle along the near side wall. Still no score. Shot, save made. Correa behind the net. Trying to get it back out in front. Can't. Tied up. Lost it. Hatches over there. Little hit put on from behind. We're seeing some shots taken, boy.
Man.
From all angles. Whitney's got it.
Hope some of these guys file flight patterns at Detroit Metro because they're leaving their feet and getting airborne on some of the hits.
Steve Yzerman moves it in. Yzerman will turn it into the corner. He took a hit. Centering pass. Zetterberg one-handed that one. Hayduk's got it. Bugner tied him up so he couldn't get to the net. Milan Hayduk will move it into the zone. Hayduk, 5th and goal, 35, all the way around. Turn, shot, in through a screen, covered by Manny Legacy, who didn't like the skates that were being shoved into his face.
Boy, lots going on. We're going to sort it all out. And trust us when we tell you, it's going to be good when we come back. Well, the nastiness started on Thursday night. We kind of suspected that because of their new faces in the lineup, and there's a new one today, Dennis Bonvie for Colorado, that this rivalry was going to be rekindled. Watch Maltby come from the right. Big shoulder on Bonvie. They yapped at one another leaving the ice.
Full marks to Bonvie for not taking a bad penalty on the shift, and full marks to Maltby for trying to get Bonvie to do something like that.
That was a big number we just saw. 3,200 plus penalty minutes. Here's Blake. Shot! That went through a screen. Rebound. Hayduk kind of couldn't get it in. Forsberg. Connor Walchuk and Hayduk together. Datsuk. Every line change is somebody new. Sent back in by Zetterberg. Knocked down. Played by Tommy Salo in behind the net. Each team has 10 shots. Neither team has been able to put one in. 3:46 to go in the period. Dump back through center all the way in, where it's got to be played behind the net. Third around near side. Zetterberg's still out there. Zetterberg cross ice. Avalanche complete a line change while this is all going on. And circling back with it, Matthew Snyder. Snyder gets it back to Lidstrom. Lidstrom into the middle. Hit put on by Adam Foote. Shot save made with a glove. Whoa. Zetterberg again. Take a look at our Bud Light plus minus leaderboard as we head into the final half dozen games for most teams. Chara still on top.
One forward of the three. St. Louis from Tampa chasing the D-men.
Eric Malik's the one that surprises me. This was a beautiful shot on a beautiful setup. Zetterberg with a shot set up by Datsuk, but it was all Matthew Schneider recircling with a puck like the. When you regroup with a puck like that to set up offense, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
That is Chelios, but he could not hold it in. They won the faceoff, but it came outside the line.
Hey, to see two creative teams not just throw the puck in, but go back and regroup, recircle, take the puck and head in. Barnaby and Chelios, everybody trying to send each other messages.
Sorry, that was an accident that time.
Right. The sticks are down, though. I enjoy the hitting when sticks are down.
Absolutely. This game, when played by the rule book, can be as physical as any game played. Shot back into the corner. Brendan Shanahan coming over to get it. Down goes Foote with the puck underneath there. He's also got the ankle of Shanahan as they waltz in the corner.
Look at Shanahan holding him out with a straight arm.
The skate was on top of the puck.
Yep.
Looking for somebody to kick it to.
Right.
Eisenman came in to help out. Shanahan. Foote still going at it here along the wall. Whitney moves in to try and help. Kicked away. Whitney got it. Whitney had it poke checked away. Back out the center. Penalty coming. All that activity, and there's going to be at least one here, and we're still got guys on the ice going at it.
It's going to be Adam Foote. He hung on just a little too long. Brendan Shanahan coming off the wall finally.
Barnaby's in the box. He was only about three feet from the box when he was given the penalty.
It isn't Adam Foote. What did Barney do?
It's Barnaby. He nailed a guy on the near boards, Bill. He only had to take a half a stride, and away he went. It was a play with Darian Hatcher.
Colorado, to me, then dodged a bullet because Adam Foote finally dragged Brendan Shanahan down. I thought he was going.
So a power play opportunity now for the Detroit Red Wings. Their first of the game. Only the second power play we've had in the game. Intended for Holland, it got blocked. This Detroit power play, fourth best in the league, second best at home. The penalty killing of Colorado overall tied for 13th. They are 19th on the road. Barnaby out of there tripping. And the penalty coming at 17-14. So Detroit gets their first chance. Hull circling, trying to find a way in that high slot. Lidstrom back. Whitney near side. They go into the middle, intended for Hull. He got blocked. Robbie Henderson got a piece of that. Lidstrom gets it back. Whitney looking. Whitney leaves it. Far side, they sneak it in. Lidstrom save made. Rebound shot by Hull. Got deflected out in front. Rob Blake, I believe, got a piece of that as he was falling down on the ice. As Hull wound up, Whitney a chance. That's blocked by Hendrickson, and he did keep it in. Hendrickson dove for it, didn't get to it. Hull's in the middle all alone as Hendrickson finally gets back on him. And it's clear.
Ray Whitney, a heck of a shift. He played the point on the power play as a forward, made 4 or 5 nice plays.
Zetterberg in, shot, save made. How did that one not go in and still go through? Wow, up and over, and it's cleared out of the zone. Here comes Paul Correa. Correa shorthanded in. Correa shot, save made. Manny Legacy, it was hit with a high stick. They whistle it before the shot.
It's a lot of stuff happening. I think the puck that Salo stopped went up and hit the netting, but didn't get blown down.
Might have. It's the play by Zetterberg. This was the finesse power play for Detroit out there. Look at this save. Even though you know there's not going to be anybody blocking and jamming in front, you know they're just going to try to out-pretty you. They develop incredible scoring chances because they are so talented. But watch in the near future, Darian Hatcher is going to end up in front of the net sooner or later on the power play for Detroit.
Fans wanted a call on that, didn't get it. Adam Foote's been involved in some scrums. Power play still going on. Shanahan is literally holding his man and is going to get a penalty. I mean, that was really flagrant.
It's been a private battle already, huh? Here in the first period, Shanahan and Foote. It's a battle amongst the big battle.
Shanny just grabbed his jersey and wouldn't let him go.
And when that was going on, Holmstrom was standing in front. Bill, I think you have a good point. You can have Holmstrom in front of the net for Detroit on their power play on one unit. And eventually, if Detroit wants to change things, they can put Hatcher in front of the net on the power play.
Dave Lewis doesn't want to do it until Hatcher gets in complete shape. But these two guys, look, they're talking the whole time, too. See, Adam Foote had Shanahan as well, and that's why Shanahan threw his hand out at the ref, say, look, he was holding me. You just didn't see it.
Dan O'Halloran and Stephen Wacom are our officials here today. 26 seconds left on the Colorado penalty, so 4 on 4. Then Colorado will get their second power play.
That'll be fun to watch that battle the rest of the way. Foote and Shanahan seem to be matched up, and they are having one big-time battle every time they're on the ice against each other.
Grashnish takes that one back. Joe Sakic, big-time face-off man, able to win that draw up the near side. Blake had it pushed away from him, and the 1 minute left to go in the period. Still 10 seconds before the power play for the Avs, but they get it going in the right direction. Drop back for Blake. Blake, that one just fumbled straight up in the air in the attempted pass. Knocked away by Lidstrom, who takes it behind the net. Power play's now underway. Minute 34 worth of power play time for Colorado. Detroit changes up in the penalty killer. Schneider drops it. Shot blocked. Held in Zetterberg. Zetterberg along the near side wall has had a heck of a first period. Paul Correa moving in. Detroit just wants to muck it up here and run that clock down with the Avs on a power play, but they don't have the puck. Jammed at and taken back in behind the net. Scratched its back. Now they'll try and get up for one good shot here with 19 seconds left in the period. Correa crisscrosses at center, gets the pass, try to dump it into the middle. Maltby read it, clears it. Detroit, Maltby and Draper, two of the best penalty killers in the National Hockey League and have been. Draper continues out with an injury. Not sure when he'll be able to get back as he's got a shoulder problem.
The coach has told us, Gary, it'll be the last game, maybe 2 games prior to the end of the season.
Well, it was a playoff intensity, but nobody got one home. 12-11 the shots in favor of Detroit, but after the first period, no score. There will be a power play continuing. Coming up in our intermission, John and Barry will be along. Highlights of the Rangers-Flyers game, and a close look at Jeremy Roenick and his comeback. That's all coming up. John and Barry up next from our studio. That will be coming up after this message. And a word from our ABC stations here in Detroit. We've completed one. Colorado and Detroit second meeting 3 days after 1-0-0. Being knocked down. Good first period. Tommy Salo and Manny Legacy. 12-11 the shots in favor of Detroit. Blake, 10 seconds left to go, and the Avs opportunity. Paul Correa's in the middle here, and he may have gotten in a little ahead of it. Well, Bill Clement, John Davidson, great to have you with us here on ABC as we move through the final 10 days of the regular season.
Just 5 seconds to go on the Shanahan penalty. Yzerman out there. Yzerman was the best centerman during the first period on faceoffs. He went 4-1. Recently, a game in San Jose, he went 15-4. When Yzerman gets sharp on faceoffs, he's as good as anybody in the business.
Steve Yzerman, 71 games played for this Detroit team. The veteran has stayed healthy all year in a club that has had a lot of injuries. These two teams both rank in the top 5 in man games, lost to injuries this year, yet both have continued in the fight for the #1 spot, not only in the conference but overall.
And big name injuries.
Serious injuries. That one sent in offside. They had not cleared the zone. We get off to a fitful start here in the second period.
Chance for matchups here now that we've got whistles. Detroit's making a change.
Speaking of injuries, Darian Hatcher coming back from the shoulder problem after he had the knee problem, but the coaching staff said to us prior to the game, Bill, that another 4 or 5 games and they feel he'll be in great shape, yet he played 8 minutes in the first period, which is a lot of ice time.
They've got to get him ready to go for the playoffs, obviously, and having missed all the games he has, he's playing in just his 11th game of the year because of those 2 serious injuries. Brett Hull moved that one in. Hull gets knocked down. Shot deflected into the corner. Rivers took it from the point. Thomas was in front, got knocked down and deflected. That's Thomas and Darby Hendrickson. Hendrickson has been shuffling in and out of lines here in the game. Fisher drops it off to the wide side. In front, screen. Salo could not get it. He's down. Back behind the net. Hull got taken off the play, and Foote comes away with it. Into the middle. Shot. Save made. Blue line chance. Held on to. Want to remind you, Kevin Hart was living large in Malibu until the bottom fell out of his world and he landed with his family in Philly. Now this little rich kid is in for a big dose of reality. Catch Kevin Hart, Big House, premiering Friday, April 2, 8:30, 7:30 Central, part of TGIF ABC Friday. What do you mean living
landed
big?
In Philly.
Living big and landed in Philly.
House.
Face off won by Chris Gratton. Near side, Konowalchuk, Chelios do battle, and the puck just rolled free to center. Konowalchuk reached in. Tomas Holmstrom sends it deeper into the zone. Tenacious checking both ways in the first period. Blake goes to the corner on the far side, but let it go. You see Detroit, 2 up ice. Snyder was over there. Chelios steps up near side. So the Avs try it in the middle. It'll be feathered in by Konowalchuk, and over the boards they come. Just underway here in the second. It is scoreless. Colorado Avalanche 3 ahead of Vancouver in the division, while the Detroit Red Wings in Tampa Bay, leading over the century mark, battling not only Detroit for #1 in the West, but #1 overall. Hatcher had to clear the zone and not done so yet. Holmstrom still was in the zone. Both teams tentative here in the second period.
Western Conference standings look like this. Detroit with a win today. Boy, they would take a huge step to finishing first in the West and possibly first overall, but down at the bottom's where it's really interesting.
Big game tomorrow, right? You guys are going to be there. St. Louis in Chicago. Big game for St. Louis. You see there.
St. Louis had 5 days off after last Saturday, and they watched a couple of teams pass them. That was what Mike Kitchen was afraid of, and sure enough, it happened. They come back, they win a big game against Anaheim, and now they're looking up again.
They still have that game in hand on the other teams that are battling for that spot. So the Blues have that going for them, and obviously they're right there. Zetterberg cutting to the net. Nobody picked him up. Wayne Whitney with it. Whitney just came through the middle, but nobody could get the puck to him. Paul Correa will flip that one up and out of the zone. We've seen line changes on both sides. Jim Cummins is out there now with Sakic and Correa. Don't think we've seen this combination before. We've seen about every other, though, in this game, including Forsberg starting out there with Joe Sakic in the game.
Scoreless game. Cummins has to be careful about taking penalties.
Power plays could be the difference here. Yeah, along the near side. Cummins dropped it off into the corner. Turned around by Matthew Snyder. I'll get it back into the middle. Shanahan a little room. Shanahan's got Yzerman trailing. Shanahan looking. Yzerman dropped it. Couldn't get it to him. That'll just be flipped deeper. Matthew Snyder was the third man coming up on that play. Cummins clears it around hard. Morris could not knock it down.
Did you see who just bumped into Shanahan in the corner? Adam Foote.
Back again.
The marriage continues.
We're trying to eliminate Brendan Shanahan. He scored more goals against this franchise since they went to Denver from Quebec than any other player in the league.
Brendan Shanahan, 24 goals on the season, leads the team in shots. Held on to Tommy Salo. That'll be whistled. There is Shanny.
I think the biggest thing with Brendan Shanahan that I've seen over the years is he's still a great player. He's still a great competitor, as is Adam Foote. That both of them took many bad penalties when the adrenaline flow got to them. I think both of them now are so smart that you very seldom see the bad penalties taken.
I think Brendan Shanahan did something that was really important for Detroit at the end of the game Thursday night. Jimmy Cummins challenged him. Yeah. Nothing to gain. But Brendan Shanahan dropped the gloves with him and said, you know what, you're not going to challenge me. You're not going to challenge our team, even at this stage of a hockey game. Colorado was a tougher team than they were last year. That was important for Brendan Shanahan to stand up and be counted.
Yep.
On the road.
When he started in his career, Brendan Shanahan was not only a good scorer, but he was one of the tough guys in the NHL. He could fight. He has gotten away from that, obviously, as he's become one of the game's all-time great goal scorers. That shot got deflected into the corner. The Avs, there's not much room here, but either end offensively to get anything done. Each team looking for the other to make a mistake. Fisher back, Chelios and he are teamed up defensively.
I think Detroit's aggressive forecheck has stopped Colorado from coming out of their zone with pure offense.
Hall, little room, dropped it. Hall, oh, they let it go through. Datsuk with it. Datsuk left it behind the net. Zetterberg, Hall. Datsuk on this line. Game free near side. D moving in. Matthew Snyder stepped up a little bit. His shot. That'll end up in the screen. And you see all the players pointing up there with their stick, and they get a whistle.
Talked about Teemu Selanne and his struggles scoring goals. Doesn't have a point in 18 games, but boy, does he have a car collection. I mean, a 71 Plymouth Barracuda, a 70 Dodge Challenger, a 61 Lincoln Continental, 69 Fendt, a couple of BMWs thrown in there, 49 Cadillac, and Dodge Viper. And why not have a couple of Ferraris? Not one, a couple of Ferraris.
Hey, look, he saw what JD had and said, if I keep collecting, I got a chance to reach JD. So that's what he's doing.
Yeah, but mine are those little things about little dinky toy things. You know, mine are the ones that the glue was stuck to my fingers when I was trying to build them. You know. Oh my! Which one of those would you like?
Cars.
Which one would you like, Billy? The Ferrari or the Viper or the?
One year of any of these guys' salaries, and I wouldn't have a problem with any cars.
Till then, we'll stick with our Cooper. Faceoff's going to come near the blue line. A little ice problem out there they're taking care of. About 5 minutes into the second period. Here in Detroit, of course, one of the few buildings where about the only thing that goes on here is hockey, so the ice generally in pretty good shape.
You bet teams love coming and playing here, other than the fact that you can't win here.
Yep.
Out of 38 home games, the Detroit Red Wings have lost a grand total of 6 this season. That's it.
#1 home record in the National Hockey League. At home, they have a phenomenal goals for, goals against differential. On the road, it's +4.
Boston has the most points in the entire league on the road.
Yep.
Detroit at home.
That one into the zone. Chris Gratton. That's going to be whistled on the delayed offside call. We keep talking about getting home ice advantage, what you're playing for. Sometimes Colorado wonders whether or not there's any advantage at all to that.
True that. The Detroit Red Wings, on the other hand, will have home ice no matter what happens for the last few games of their season. They will have home ice. This will be a tough building for whoever plays them to win it.
Colorado Avalanche, their differential is +20 on the road, +19 at home. There isn't much of a differential. They have not played well at home of late. Cleared around the near side boards. The Colorado Avalanche, 2 wins at home in their last 13 games. And a Legacy kicked that one away. Elon Hayduk circling. Wanted to get a backhander, could not. That one hit the pack in front of 5 guys standing in front of Manny Legacy.
Okay, which team does home ice mean the most to starting the playoffs? Dallas?
Boy, right now, if you look at the numbers, you got to believe Dallas needs to have that home
They've
ice.
gone 18 without a loss on home ice, right?
But they're playing so well. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they do without Marty Turco, who's suspended for 4 games. But I wouldn't want to play Dallas at home or the road. It matters more to the team that is trying to knock off either Detroit or Dallas, because I think Detroit and Dallas have enough and are playing well enough now to win at home or on the road.
And has the aura disappeared with Colorado on home ice? The Mile High Stadium, the whole thing. For some reason, they can't win at home.
That faceoff will be won back by the Avs. Sent in. Colorado, the way San Jose and Dallas are both playing now, Colorado does not win the division title over Vancouver. They may very well end up in 5th place if they slide out of that division lead. Brendan Shanahan looking Whitney on the near side, offside, created his own offside on that one.
Boy, as slick as the first period was in terms of play, this is sloppy. Guys going offside. Brendan Shanahan hardly ever puts a puck in a guy's skates, and he did it with Ray Whitney. Very interesting. This has turned into a choppy defensive slugfest now.
The coaches are changing almost every whistle, and I think both coaches have to be sharp. Their benches have to be sharp. Line combinations are different almost every time out.
The second period too, you're a long way from your bench when you're in your own end, so both of these coaches taking the chance.
Holmstrom on every face-off. Now he moves to center ice as Datsuk got tossed, but Holmstrom is in quite a battle, isn't he? Every time.
Holmstrom and Foot were tick-tacking away there, waiting for the drop of the puck till he had to move in to take the face-off. Holmstrom took the draw, and there he is chasing it down at the far end. Back into the middle. Picked up in the air. Rico had the opportunity. Does he get back onside? Yes. Pretty good shot put on by Holmstrom on the near side again. Holmstrom got Ozzy Vananen. Vananen had the flu and did not play for the Avs in the last game. He is back in the lineup, obviously, here for this one. Ozzy Vananen started with Blake in the defensive pairing, but that, as we said, has been juggled around. Avs want to change it up. Gratton had to drop it back. They do get a line change done here. Sent in from the near side, or at least attempted. Ended up going into the skates and behind the net. And Legacy was going to leave it. Paul Correa moved up, said better not do that. Off the near side wall, scratched it, held it in. Correa trying to center it. Couldn't get it there. Correa drops it back over to Teemu Solani. They leave it up on top. Foot looks, takes the chance wide, looking for the rebound to come to the front.
That's not a bad play by Adam Foote. He shot it 15 feet wide, looking for the carom off the end boards out front.
That's a home ice advantage right there for Manny Legacy. He knew that thing was going to come off hard, so he just stayed at the side of the net and knocked it away. Konowalchuk will send it into the zone. Hatcher, 30 back into the middle. McCarty looking up ice. Powers racing into the middle. Scratchtich was with him and took him down. Came to the near side. We have had very few opportunities on the power play in this game. Detroit, couple. Colorado, a couple. Detroit's had one. Nobody's converted on it, and the penalties have stayed down. Forsberg dropped it into the middle. Here's Hayduk looking for help. Hayduk a shot. Save made. And Legacy kicked it away. Forsberg tied up along the near side boards. He and Darren McCarty do battle. Konowalchuk waiting, and it did come back to him. Detroit right in the jerseys here. Hatcher, good tough play. Penalty coming up maybe on Hatcher. Delayed call. Brought in by Scratchtich. He turns it. Extra stater out there for Colorado on a delayed whistle. Back it comes to Hayduk. Hayduk looking in front. Delayed whistle on Detroit. Extra skater. Sakic, there he is. Sakic looking. They want to try and get something right here. Blake, little aerial pass near side. The shot deflected to Hayduk. Hayduk took it around the net. Hatcher pushes it to the corner. Sakic, one of the longest delayed calls you'll see. It's going to be controlled by Detroit before there's a whistle, and there it is.
All right, there'll be a penalty when we come back. Colorado won its last game here February 14th. When we come back, we'll tell you the last time the Avs won 2 in a row in Detroit. The answer regarding Colorado winning 2 in a row here in this building, they never have. They never have. They won here on Valentine's Day this season and never won 2 in a row.
Not in the regular season, but they've got an opportunity right here because they're going in a power play. Darian Hatcher has picked up not 1, But 2 penalties, a rough and a high stick. One along the sideboards and one in front, but both of them on Steve Konowalchuk.
That's exactly right. Konowalchuk deserves full credit. He drew 2 of them.
Big penalties. So the power play, 4 minutes worth on the board for the Colorado Avalanche. Cleared out by Detroit. Zetterberg giving chase. Blake drops it off. Teemu Selanne stays out there in the power play. And you know, despite the fact he hasn't scored in 18, one of the things the Avs are trying to do is get some confidence back for Selanne. So he's still on the power play. Sakic, Selanne into the corner. Correa's out there as well. Looking for Sakic on the half wall. Blake the only defenseman out there. Sakic turns it down low. Bumped away Forsberg. Forsberg, Chelios do battle. Dumped it to the near side. Sakic will have to come back to get it. On the power play for the Colorado Avalanche, Hayduk has got 16 power play goals, 3rd most in the league. And they are sending everybody down low here. The Avs are given a chance, and Detroit just folding back in, and the Avs aren't getting it there. There's the shot. Correa got it. Came back to Sakic. Drops it off for Blake. They set Teemu Selanne in front.
Red Wings getting tired now.
Shot. That goes to Correa. Turnaround shot went into the paint. Good play by Chelios to keep Selanne away from it.
You see that golf swing by Paul Correa? He's been watching the TPC, man. I'll give him full marks.
He got it on net. It's the only shot he had. Down to 2:50 left to go in this double minor on Hatcher. Into the middle, Chris Gratton. Gratton clears it around. Shanahan's over there. Konowalchuk moved in, let it go to the point. That worked out. Adam Foote scratched this near side of wrister. That one got blocked in front, and Matthew Snyder clears. These Detroit penalty killers working it. Yzerman, Shanahan, Snyder, and Fisher out there now defensively on this PK unit. Konowalchuk picks it up, sends it in, intended for Hayduk into the corner. Elon Hayduk paid a price. Turns around, there's the puck, and there's also Shanahan. Chris Gratton cleared it up to the point. Rastus looking into the middle, gets it over to Adam Foote. Foote leaves it. Hayduk shot. That one went wide. Chris Gratton picks it up. Pretty good chance for Hayduk. Scratched his shot. That one deflected into the corner. Looks like he may have gotten a piece of that. First power play's over. We go into the second part of it.
Steve Konowalchuk was a human bowling pin in front of the net. He got knocked down 3 times.
Yzerman to Shanahan. Short-handed off the skate and into the corner. Adam Foote got a piece of that as it went by. Chris Gratton picks it up. 1:46 left on this 4-minute power play. While Correa drops it off. Correa's been out there for almost all of it. Peter Forsberg tipped away from him. Stepping up Blake. Good job, Blake, to help hold it in, but he can't do it a second time.
I've got to tell you something. The number 2 power play unit for Colorado, and when you look at it, there's a big drop-off because you got Sakic and Forsberg on the first unit. They've pressured more than this unit.
Sakic moves it in. Forsberg cuts behind him. There's Peter Forsberg down low. Forsberg into the middle. Sakic was waiting, but it went over his stick. He had to come back to the blue line to get it over to Blake. Blake, Sakic. Detroit stays in the box. Paul Correa at the dot, trying to go through the middle. Lost it. Blake picks it up. Backhander Blake. Blocked. Blake got it in. Manny Legacy knocked it away. Came back to Joe Sakic. A minute left on the 4-minute power play. Peter Forsberg. Blake now moves in front of the net. They've got 2 down low. Sakic, the only man back. Forsberg into the dot. Tries to go into the middle. Came back to him. Forsberg a shot. Correa a shot, and it goes wide. Correa chases down Ed Lidstrom on him. Sakic's got it. Now Blake moves back to the blue line, and it's cleared.
What a job by Lidstrom and Chelios. No sticks for Colorado. Got free. They even sent big Rob Blake, the defenseman, down to stand in front of the net. But what a penalty kill.
The more congestion you get on your power play unit, the easier it is for the PK guys because you're playing in a phone booth, and Colorado never stretched it out at all.
That's going to be whistled on the offside, and we'll check in with John and Barry.
I think, boys, the goaltender's supposed to go to the net and get that puck. Isn't he supposed to move it? Valiquette, he got caught standing in the net.
I don't know. You're the goalie. Come on.
Okay, let me ask you a question about penalty killing, Bill. How come they block so many more shots today than they used to when they killed penalties? It's hard to get a shot through when you killed penalties. 15 years ago, you didn't block shots as much.
The coaching is better and the equipment is better, so the shots don't hurt as much.
Power play is over. 4 minutes worth. They did not convert, and Hatcher's out of there. And it remains a scoreless game. And the fans of Detroit applauding the penalty-killing unit.
Now, I think Legacy only had to make one big save, and that was on a weak backhand shot on the corner from Blake. That was it.
Detroit lining it up, pushed away by Manny Legacy. Turnaround chance, Barnaby deflected again, Legacy. Cleared up to the point, not out. Blake a chance, save made by Legacy. More chances here when they've gone 5-on-5, and a big pile up in front again. It sticks up in the air, and Bondy's part of that. Steve Yzerman, 21st season. When we come back, we'll show you the players in the other sports who've been with their teams the longest. Who had a lot of equity in their home. Steve Yzerman in Detroit, 21 years. Barry Larkin, 19 in baseball. Reggie Miller with Indiana, 17 basketball. And Tim Brown, Oakland, 16. Buy a house and keep it.
If you only knew.
4 minutes of power play time for Colorado, and this was the only decent chance they had. It was a backhander by Rob Blake, and Manny Legacy did the splits and kicked it away. I think they like Manny Legacy around here.
Kenny Holland said before the game, look, we don't know who's going to play, whether Curtis Joseph can get back or not, but we feel both of them give us a chance to win.
Dave Lewis echoed that. Had complete confidence in him, and I was asked yesterday if I thought that the Red Wings would win the Stanley Cup with Manny Legacy, and I said yes, about as quickly as I could.
I did too. I mean, it's obviously it's an issue in the sense it's talked about all the time, and nobody knows because Manny Legacy hasn't been there as the number one goaltender.
Just a one-game experience, right? Yeah. But I hope Curtis Joseph gets healthy so they have two guys that can go, and the ankle's driving him nuts. He had the cortisone shot today to try and get it to be a little better.
That's who dropped it off. Hall, save, rebound, Hall into the corner. Back up onto the point. Chelios wide open, big pile up in front. That shot deflected off the skate. Came back to Hatcher. Now it settles down. This is not a power play. Chelios save. It's underneath the pads. Solani says just stay there.
Salo had no idea it was under him. He looked behind him first.
Stevie Thomas around the puck. Steve Thomas told me last night that his confidence level right now is low. 20-year pro. And he said it's low. Can you imagine? For such an experienced guy, but he's tied up by Skrastich. Right there, the stick through his midsection, twisted around. The puck is jumping up and down, bouncing, and Tommy Salo didn't know where it was.
From our Southwest Airlines goal cam, Skrastich made a smart play. He never lost sight of Thomas's stick. It's one thing to tie up the body, but you got to try to tie up the twig too.
Thomas has had only one goal in the last 23 games. That's one of the reasons he's feeling a little low right now. Tomas Holmstrom up. Bob Bugner's got it for the Avs. Shanahan steps in. He batted it away. They have to take it back in behind the net. Colorado still battling his forechecking job of Detroit. Correa will move it to the blue. His chance off the blocker and into the corner. Correa trying to follow it up. Chelios got it over to Fisher to Shanahan. Shanahan dropped it off. Maltby will crisscross. Holmstrom with him. Maltby into the zone. Quick shot and a good one. He used Vananen as a screen. The defenseman in front of him that time. Avs right back the other way. Avs changing it up as well down the middle. Couldn't get it there. Gratton's pass intercepted, sent out of the zone by Steve Yzerman. Avs get it back. Blake trying to flip it in. Solani couldn't handle. Fisher will take it into the corner. No score. Second period. 5:25 left to go. 20-18. The shots in favor of the Avalanche on the game. More so here in the second period, an advantage than in the first on shots. Darren McCarty. Mowers was cutting, but the puck got pinned up on the wall. Mowers picks it up, goes into the middle. Maltby gets taken down by Blake. Blake picked his arm up just in time not to get a penalty.
And Maltby tried to help the play out.
Best in the game at drawing a penalty, Kirk Maltby.
He went down, but there was no call. And it's opened up again after we started with tentative play here for about the first 15 minutes of the period. Now they're flying. McCarty, shot, glove. Tommy Salo, and at the side of the net, Blake gets into it again.
For the Red Wings, 5th consecutive season with 100 points or more. When we come back, we'll tell you where that ranks on the all-time list. Since Montreal did it 8 times, Edmonton 6, and Detroit is tied with a bunch of teams. This is their 5th consecutive year. On that list, Boston, the only team going 100 points or better 5 consecutive seasons without winning the Cup. Everybody else did.
They may change that this year even if they don't get 100 points.
We got a chance.
They're into it. President's Trophy to the team that finishes #1 overall in the regular season, Tampa Bay Detroit. 2 of the teams at the top vying for it right now, but they're not alone there. Face-off coming to the left to Tommy Salo. Off the drop, Datsuk won it. Into the middle, shot wide. That's where Hull wants to be.
See where Adam Foote was? He went all the way out to no man's land to get a chunk of that shot, and it's a good thing he did.
Played back through center with 4:37 left to go here in the period. Rob Blake playing in his career 900th game. Congratulations to Blakey. Not just 900, but 900 really good games taken back in, and that will be whistled on the icing call. Want to remind you, ABC Sports coverage of the quest for the most coveted trophy. It'll begin 2 weeks from now. First round Stanley Cup playoffs presented by Nextel. Action begins Saturday, April 10th, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC. Home of the Stanley Cup Finals. Log on ESPN.com. John Barry and others with info on what's going on around the league.
And there's going to be a lot of stuff going on around the league as we have a scoreless game late in the second period.
These face-offs really start to matter. Tight games, offensive draw. One back to the near side. Detroit Red Wings got it. Manny Legacy now in the 2 games he's played back-to-back in 3 days against the Avs has given up 1 goal on 55 shots. He has been outstanding. That one hit Sakic and straight up in the air. And cleared back in behind the net. Moved to center, hit put on by Matthew Snyder. Snyder came away with a puck on a Walchuk, and he collided. That's kind of Walchuk trying to dump it in right back out to center again.
You know, Gary, until Thursday night, both of these teams were trying to find their focus, their energy levels. They really let down. I'll tell you what, they both should be real happy. Defensively, the goalies haven't even had to be that great, especially since the first period.
In behind the net, Peter Forsberg. Good move by Matthew Snyder. Reached in and bumped it away, and then takes Forsberg down. Both coaches said that after that game on Thursday. Even Tony Granato saying despite the fact they lost, he thought it was the best effort they'd made in a long time. Connor Walchuk talking with Zetterberg.
Well, we talked about Manny Legacy. We weighed in on whether or not the Red Wings could win the Cup with him. How about David Abisher? Can the Colorado Avs win the Stanley Cup with David Abisher? I say yes. Right now the concern is more about the team in front of him.
He's 9 games over 500 on the road. That tells me something. I know he hasn't won in his last 4 starts. I think it's important for him to play well down the stretch, but I agree. I think he'll give them good goaltending. Everybody questions that the lack of NHL playoff experience is a problem. You got to get it somewhere. Patrick Waugh had to start somewhere. Everybody does sometimes. So I hope he gets his chance, and I hope he plays well. His team better find some goals, though. That's the biggest problem.
Remember, Patrick Waugh won the Stanley Cup. The man that David Abisher replaced this year won the Stanley Cup as a rookie in 1986.
Jacques Demers coached that team, right?
Thing that's interesting to me, JD, we were talking about this before the game. David Abisher is 11th in goals against. Manny Legacy is 10th. These 2 teams as a team are both in double digits in goals against in the league. Can a team with a goals against double digits, meaning 10 or lower, win a Stanley Cup?
Look at the injuries these 2 teams have had. Detroit's been healthy for 2 games this season, the first 2 games of the season. They've added different people. Colorado's added a lot of different people. They have to get healthy, especially people like Nick Alishon, a good centerman.
And Hayduk a chance, rebound, Manny Legacy into the pad, and he hangs on.
Great shot by Hayduk, and Manny Legacy continues to play well. Started 2 nights ago in Colorado, and he continues here. A great shot off the wing.
You to Manny. Milan Hayduk, one of the great snipers of all time, and Manny Legacy would have preferred that rebound going to his left, but with a shot like that, boy, you got a blink of an eye.
Look at Hayduk's head. Look at him. He's up. He didn't even look down at the puck. A brilliant shot that was on the corner, and a terrific save by Legacy.
5th in goals, 35 on the year, and 9th in points, Milan Hayduk. But over the last 8 games, this being the 9th, the goals have not come for him either. And up and down that Colorado list, scorers like Milan Hayduk have not been able to get it done. They've scored 2 or fewer goals in each of their last 5 games. Almost unheard of for this Colorado Avalanche powerhouse.
And they don't want to panic about that. And when I talked to Peter Forsberg on the bench before the game, he said, no, it's really more important to us that we're playing well defensively. And you know what? Thursday night they did play well defensively. They outplayed the Red Wings. Manny Legacy was the difference.
They're doing it again.
Colorado's penalty kill in the first half was 6th. In the second half, it's 21st. So, I mean, they've got to improve in certain areas defensively, especially with their penalty kill.
Adam Foote out in front. Right back in as they look to the middle. Mark Mauer is trying to redirect that dip, but it went straight up in the air, and that was close to a high stick. But he did get a piece of it. Scratch able to push him off the puck, move back into the zone. Teemu Selanne. Selanne right through his own goaltender's crease with Tomas Holmstrom on him. Leaves it for Foote. Look at the Detroit Red Wings. 3 in the forecheck. Creates a turnover. Datsuk. Chris Chelios turning it. Chelios looking. Chelios able to hold it in along the line. Hatcher a chance. Wristed. Knocked down Holmstrom in front. Now the Avs will move it up on the far side just to dump in. And they'll change it up. This has been a real defensive battle in this second period. Not much room and great forechecking. Hatcher, his pass, say it could have been hit or was by Datsuk, so they got to play it. Bannerton takes it back in behind the net. 1:40 left to go, second period. 22-19 shots favoring the Avs. Picked up by Rob Blake. Blake moves it into the middle, flipping for Connor Walchuk. Connor Walchuk had gotten a little bit ahead of Snyder. Snyder caught up with him in the corner. Hanging on to the jersey. Puck freed up. Hall moved it up near side. Zetterberg back to him. Brett Hull coming. Hull looking down the middle. Wants some help. Poke checked away. Hayduke's got it. Good play again by Blake, who was right there on Hull. Wouldn't let him go through. Hayduke sends it in. Peter Forsberg. Peter Forsberg coming now as their line changes. Forsberg, he gets help by Lidstrom. Taken away by Datsuk. Datsuk turns it up the far side and out. And back and forth with a minute left to go in the period. Icing call here. Coming up, our Dodge intermission report. John and Barry will be along. Part 2 of the Wayne Gretzky Fantasy Cap and highlights the Rangers Flyers. That's all coming up.
How about Peter Forsberg? Last season, his average ice time per game, 19 minutes, 19 seconds. You know what it is this season? 19 minutes, 17 seconds. Do you think they know how much ice time he gets per game?
I think they're resting him.
Well, I think if he plays more than that, say he got into 23, 24 minutes, I think he'd die from exhaustion.
But here's the thing. With
you can't play him that much.
The abdominal thing that he's had as well. They tried to bring him back easily and get him into the 22-minute mode if they had to. Peter Forsberg's been out of the lineup 4 times with the same injury.
But he says it's good now, right?
Yes, he does.
That's why they waited so long.
He says
this season to make sure he's healthy,
Yeah. See if that lasts. That one knocked away by Fisher to Chelios.
But the point was he plays so hard that if you get him into 23 minutes or so, he'd just be exhausted.
Steve Yzerman in. Penalty coming up. Delayed call on Colorado. Detroit. Manny Legacy doesn't realize it. He's standing near a net. He's not come out. McCarty puts the hit on. And then now Legacy sees, but too late. Whistle. Now McCarty's up with Chris Gratt.
Chris Chelios stays way above the circle to make sure the faceoff stays inside the zone. You know what he did? Chelios looked up at the clock and it said 22.3 seconds to go. So he said, you know what? I'd rather stay here and let the linesmen and the referees separate everybody. See, he stayed out. If there was like 2 seconds left or something, he would have been in the middle of that scrum. He smartly looked up at the clock and said, I'm staying out here. I want the face-off in there in the zone so we can maybe get something on the power play. I thought it was just a smart play by Chris.
And believe me, it's against his nature to stay out there.
Yeah. He's probably going, I got to get in there.
Darren McCarty and Adam Foote going nose to nose.
Gratton's already gone to the penalty box, so he may have been the original to get the penalty.
Barnaby has had say with a couple of players, now talking to the official.
In case you missed it Thursday night, it was McCarty that cut Matthew Barnaby. Thus the stitches and the shiner that he's got.
Matthew's first words out of his mouth today were, he hit me with a bomb.
There's a face you gotta love right there. He's talking to the Detroit bench as he goes by.
It's awfully hard to out-talk Matthew Barnaby.
Thursday night, this was the first period. Darren McCarty started with the right hand, then surprised Matthew Barnaby and landed a left-handed bomb.
You know, earlier this season, Barnaby playing for the Rangers in Ottawa fought Zdeno Chara twice in the same game. Zdeno Chara is about 1.5 feet taller than he is, maybe 2 feet taller.
Tallest player in the league.
I mean, what was he doing?
Big offensive zone draw. Gratton out of their hooking, 1937, and Detroit does win it. That's what JD was talking about. Shot Lidstrom. Oh, Tommy Salo into the mid.
No problem, right?
Oh, that was some save. I don't know how much traffic there was, Bill, and for a defenseman to shoot the puck that high. Hull with a setup. There's the shot.
You know why Lidstrom shot it that high? He knew there was a guy falling down in front of him, and he had to get it over him.
And Holmstrom was in front trying to deflect the shot.
Nick Lidstrom working the point on the power play. 12 seconds to go in the period. Matthew Snyder
face-off team than Colorado, and they just showed it.
Well, they won 2, and remember, when you're on the power play, you should win them. Schneider helped win the draw, and he'll score the goal off either the goal post or the crossbar. Beautiful pass from Lidstrom.
Look at the screen in front of this shot, though. Tommy Salo was coming across, and I think he picked it up late. Great high shot that hit Salo in the shoulder. Pavel Datsuk magical on the offensive zone draw.
It hit the crossbar too, Billy, and went in. So that's a big-time power play goal, a 1-0 goal late in the second period as the Detroit club won 2 straight face-offs, and with Gratton in the box, it's 1-0 Detroit.
Matthew Snyder the goal. Datsuk won the draw against Sakic that helped set that up and go all the way back to Chris Chelios. But JD noted by Chelios staying away from the scrum in the corner. He gave that initial face-off in the zone, and they got a second one after that. So 1-0 lead. Matthew Snyder getting the goal, and it is 1-0 Red Wings after 2. John and Barry coming up from the studio. Our Dodge Intermission Report after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Thursday. Underway here in the third with Bill Clement, John Davidson, and our crew. I'm Gary Thorne. Great to have you with us here on ABC. Tipped away at a point. Chelios a chance. Tommy Salo and net watch that one go high. Hatcher coming back to get it. Leaves it back. Snyder. Hatcher. In the third period in Colorado on Thursday, when Detroit had a bigger lead, they just dumped the puck the other way and forced the Avs an entire period to go the full distance on the ice. Peter Forsberg, that hit Hayduk in the back, so we get Konowalchuk, Hayduk, and Forsberg starting together on this line for the Avs.
Both of these teams have been so sound defensively tonight and Thursday night. I think there's been one odd man rush in 2 games, and it was a 3-on-2 by Colorado Thursday night in Denver. It didn't last very long.
Matthew Snyder, the only goal, 1950 on the power play. His 14th goal of the season. Lidstrom and Hull picked up the assist. Snyder continues in contention for that award for the best defenseman in the National Hockey League, the Norris Trophy. He's had a magnificent year. That one dumped into the zone, into the corner. Mulpey went, deflected away. Pratt shot right through the top. Nobody there. You'll see the Colorado Avalanche put some of their D to work here. Right in front. Pratt, if he'd have got it, he had a chance. Blake's shot got blocked by Mulpey. Teemu Solani. Solani circling. Solani dropped it. Pratt and a chance. What a save! Manny Legacy is playing out of his mind, but he is hurt. Can you believe this?
I'm not so sure that doesn't come up and hit him right between the legs. You know that, the way he was positioned?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you're right, Bill. Gratton has a really heavy shot, and
Teemu Solani won't get any better chance to pick up an assist than this. Gratton from the hash mark. Wham! No one hit him up high.
Maybe. Remember, he got hit in warm-up.
Side of the head.
Yeah, the Southwest goal cam look at the play. He got it right between the eyes, I think, guys, when you see the replay again. Watch his mask. Here comes a puck. Oh, I'm not so sure.
You know, and the master designed so that if you're looking right at the puck, it's going to diffuse some of the impact. If you turn sideways and get hit on the side.
It's a mask problem. They're checking it out. They may have to go to the spare mask. He got his bell rung, guys. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know, and I had said earlier that he was hit in warm-up by the defenseman Jamie Rivers, and it was not Jamie Rivers. It was Ray Whitney, the forward, who hit him, and you can see he's having problems with his jawbone there. He's not talking. He's trying to test his jaw to see if he's okay. Now we'll take a look at the play from warm-up. This is Ray Whitney. I had said Jamie Rivers, I owe him an apology, but this went up and caught Manny Legacy on the left shoulder, and that really stunned him for a while. Then here he gets hit on the right side of his face mask. Maybe the bar's bent. I don't know. Maybe they're doing some work with the mask at the bench. But he's up. Boy, do they love him here.
I think he turned his head to the left just enough to get it square on the side of the mask. And they're aerodynamically designed so that if you're looking at the shot and it nicks you on either side, it'll glance off. See what happens here. Gratton from the hash marks, and he got full wood on this. See how he was turned sideways?
That was a great shot by Gratton to get it over the sprawling defender in front, too. You know, they had to fix, maybe check the strap, maybe check the bar, maybe check the side of the mask, but he's got it back on. Looks okay.
Chris Gratton's had some chances and has played very well in these 2 games against Detroit.
And Gary Billy made a good call, too. Teemu Solani worked hard to set that play up.
Dumped back in by Hatcher. Underway again. Manny Legacy. Of course, Curtis Joseph not dressed. Mark Lamont, the 30-year-old veteran, who has played in only 1 game at the NHL level this year, is the backup goaltender for the Detroit Red Wings for the moment. Center ice, Shanahan, Bugner. They separate. That's Shanahan who comes back and picks up the puck. Yzerman with him, kicked it into the zone. Bob Bugner. Yzerman, Shanahan picks it up, tried to center, came all the way back to Chelios, a shot blocked.
Break there for Colorado. Joe Sakic had lost his stick.
He gets to the bench in time to get over that. Clark moves it in. He pays the price. Hatcher right there to knock it away. In behind the net. Big battle. Hatcher, helmets flying. Puck somewhere underneath there. Paul Correa trying to dig it out. Whitney lost it. Without a stick, Barnaby.
Without gloves either. No gloves either.
No glove, no stick.
And he's hurting too. That's the place where he was punched in the scrap in the previous game. He got up off the ice, guys, after being tangled up with Hatcher. He had no gloves, no stick, and still went at somebody.
Got those stitches in there.
There's Matthew Barnaby's yard sale being picked up.
Oh, boy.
Big hit there. Darian Hatcher took him hard. Took him clean.
Well, Darian Hatcher, I mean, it's like going into a blender with Darian Hatcher. He just worked you over.
Watch this. Barnaby, I think, hits his head on the boards right there.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
He pushed him right on the right side, and it was his cheek. And Matthew Barnaby looked like at first he was dropping his gloves maybe to fight, and then he was dropping his gloves to grab his face.
We're going to get a penalty here on Colorado. The officials have been yakking at the bench, and the bench yakking back. And this call came after the whistle, and Shanahan's gone too, but the Avs got to send somebody. Adam Foote, the two have danced the whole day. Go to the box.
Delay a game or misconducts. What will they call?
Don't know. This was well after the whistle.
We talked about it in the first period about those two players getting after each other. And that's Foote and Shanahan have had private battles all the way through this thing. Barnaby looks to be okay at the bench. And you're right. I think he hit his head when he went down. He hit the dasher.
Yep.
Face off right in on net, knocked away to Lidstrom. So matching minors, and we've got our first 4-on-4 of the game. Here comes Zetterberg, who can fly. Zetterberg's out there with Maltby up front. He gets taken into the corner and hauled down. And wanted a call on that, won't get it. Zetterberg gets right back up and now pulled the puck in. Back to Zetterberg on the near side. Great effort. Heinrich Zetterberg. Left in behind the net again. The Avs having trouble. Ozzy Vanderden moves it up the near side. Here comes Hayduk. 1-0 lead Detroit. 4-on-4. Poke checked away. Good play by Lidstrom again, who just reached in and knocked it away. Forsberg up on the forecheck now. Played around the near side. Lidstrom with it. Lidstrom, they're dishing it back in their own end as though they're short-handed. Maltby makes the turn the other way and got hit. And two Avs collide, giving a 3-on-2 the other way. Schneider in, dropped it off. Zetterberg wants a backhander. Tommy Salo moved out.
Salo fell down, lost his balance. Was fortunate there wasn't a little chip of the puck up over top of his prone body.
Good play by Rob Blake, but how cool is Hank Zetterberg with the puck? Yikes.
He can make it happen. Cleared back into the zone by Hull. Fisher drops it the other way. Both teams change it up.
Hank.
So they call him.
Okay, just checking. I thought you got to know him pretty well.
We haven't been camping yet. That's what you mean.
Here's Hull. How did he wind up on that one? Rebound shot,
The magic of the Detroit Red Wings, and Pavel Datsyuk has given them a 2-zip lead. And on the play, Bobby Bookner shaken up for the Colorado Avs. I think he got dinged with this Brett Hull blast.
This is the one you're talking about, Bill. But the puck went right over to Datsyuk, calmed the puck down, knew that the goaltender was prone. He now has a goal to give Detroit a 2-0 lead, and he won the face-off that led to the first goal that Detroit scored in the game on the power play.
Vying for the #1 star in this game, Datsyuk. He's only had 4 goals in the last 17 games, but
they've all come in the last 4 games. He scored in each of the last 4 games.
4 goals and an assist. He's got a 5-game scoring streak in front, deflected away by Manny Legacy, and a 2-0 lead. Still 4-on-4. As Datsyuk took advantage of the open ice.
Colorado's got to start activating their defensemen more. Rob Blake's got to jump into the play, as do others.
Matching minors are over. This is getting a little old right now for the Colorado Avalanche, the inability to score goals. They've got nothing on the board again. They didn't score on Thursday till the game was over late in the 3rd period.
When Pavel Datsyuk records a point this season, the Detroit Red Wings are 26 wins, 5 losses, 6 ties, and 1 overtime loss. Make no mistake about it, he is a key component to the Red Wings' chances in the playoffs.
When he was a kid over in Russia, he used to watch the NHL on television, and he said, too fast. That's way too fast. Wrong.
He's way too fast.
No, he's a good player.
The score by Datsyuk came at 4:06. Hull and Chelios the assists, 2 assists for Hull in the game. Detroit has scored on their last 2 shots. The power play goal by Matthew Schneider at 19:50 of the first period. This one at 4:06 of the second period. This one 4:06 of the third. So they haven't had a lot of shots when they've got them. They have made them count. And a 2-0 Detroit lead. Colorado Avalanche, JD said they've got to get the D involved now. Press it a little bit. Not just about this game, but about finding a way.
And I don't think Legacy has seen a shot since he was hit on the side of the head, right?
Has not. In front. Deflected away, got blocked. Good play by Teemu Selanne that time on a cough-up in front of the net. Fisher drops it back. The Avalanche continue to just get behind and have no way to not only get even, but even get anything on the board. Zetterberg along the near side, poked it away, gets hit from behind. Freed up, Maltby gloved, held on to Tommy Salo.
The Avs have fallen apart on the road as well lately. We talked about their struggles at home. They were so awesome on the road earlier in the season. Their first 35 games, they only had 4 regulation losses. They have lost 3 consecutive games now, coming into today's action in Detroit on the road in regulation.
Injuries hurt, lack of scoring, and their penalty kill in the second half has not been good. And the big goal in this game was a power play goal by Detroit.
Interesting with all the talent that they have over there. Tony Granato's club just right now can't find the switch.
And great pressure on the organization, as Detroit as well. They're both built to win the Stanley Cup. They both got eliminated in the first round last year.
Got to win right now. Dropped their attempt to drop out in front, hit the back of the net that time. Bondy was out there. He hasn't played very much in the game. Darby Hendrickson rather out there as these line changes have continued. Bondy, Hendrickson, and Correa were working together. We've had about every imaginable permutation combination of lines in this game for both teams, but especially the Avs, who are really trying to find a way now. Connor Walchuk is out there. Bomby's in the middle. Moved into the zone. Forsberg near side. Poke checked away. Held in. Connor Walchuk behind the net. Bomby looking out in front. Connor Walchuk and he do battle down low. Forsberg with it. Forsberg leaves it at a point. Forsberg looking at Yzerman. Yzerman never let him go over there.
Well, it was Forsberg, I think, that didn't let Yzerman go, too. He had his stick.
End of the turnaround chance. Connor Walchuk deflected back up on top. Shot point deflected and moved back out of there by Shanahan. Shanahan drops it. Detroit changing. Snyder, a blast! And a glove saves Salo.
Another game today, something going on in Philadelphia. We don't know what, but we'll show you from the studio when we come back.
Enjoy your new Durango.
Look, it's got a DVD. And see how smooth the ride is for you and Fluffy?
Liz, what are you doing to him?
I'm just showing little Joey the new Durango.
Son, there's only one thing you need to know. Hemi. Can you say Hemi?
Hemi.
That's my boy.
The all-new Dodge Durango. Big size, smooth ride, Hemi power. Starting under $26,600.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
So,
My girlfriend bought this furniture. Except there's no instructions.
who needs instructions? Not bad, huh?
Another Labatt Blue?
Beer me. Nice.
Break out the blue. Labatt Blue.
Hey, honey. Look!
That's great. But where's the bookcase that I bought?
What?
A new stick for Matthew Renzoni, $22. New pads for Jeffrey Garbig, $92. A new mouthguard for Josh Barkholder, $15. A new hockey season for the Clippers, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, fan of the NHL and its future stars.
John Saunders, Barry Melrose on the Labatt Blue break here, and almost a break for the Flyers. Down 3-1, a big flurry in front.
Valaquette's been the story of this game. The Flyers have tons of chances in the third period, but they can't get it behind them.
The Rangers still lead 3-1.
You know, guys, I should mention that Wednesday, oh, well, look at this. Detroit with a game in hand over Tampa Bay. If they win this one, they go 2 points up, right?
That's what it's about for the Red Wings. Yes, they want to sew up home ice in the West, but they could sew up home ice all the way through by winning the President's Trophy.
Rangers' last home game is Wednesday. It may be Mark Messier's last game in the NHL. He doesn't know if he's going to retire, but he's not going to play the last game in Washington, which is Saturday. So his last game may be Wednesday on home ice against Buffalo.
Mark always waits till the offseason to make those decisions over the past few years. Here's Sakic moving it in, trying to find a way. Whoop. No chance. Fisher just took him down. On the side to Hayduk. His shot scooped up, held on to. It remains 2-0 Detroit. Last week on Dream Job, Kelly and Casey were cut. This week it's down to Zach, Maggie, Mike, and Aaron. And America, you control 100% of the vote here. Only one will end that job, and the winner plays for his salary later on SportsCenter. Dream Job 2-hour season finale tomorrow, 9 Eastern, ESPN.
We mentioned Colorado's got to find a way here, down 2-0. The University of Maine found a way, right?
You're talking about the Maine Bears, right?
Yeah, they found a way yesterday, didn't they?
5-4 over Harvard. One of the great comebacks in college hockey history. Down 4-1 third period. And they came back and won the game in the third.
Wow.
College hockey, all those teams that are continuing, we congratulate them and extend best wishes. It's their March Madness, too, for the guys on the ice.
Pavel Datsyuk has been awesome on faceoffs in this game. He was way below 500 on Thursday night, but today he has been a tower of power. One led to a goal, power play goal. He just won a defensive draw off Joe Sakic in the defensive zone.
Talk about the defense, how hard it is to score here in this game. It's been that way most of the season. There's not going to be a 100-point man again this season. There's not going to be a 50-goal scorer. Last time there wasn't 100 points was 01-02. The last time there wasn't a 50-goal scorer was 98-99. So the league continues to deal with maybe an issue. Depends on how you feel about it, but there's no question scoring is getting harder and harder. Connor Walchuk up the near side, moves it out. Mowers behind the play has Forsberg in a death wrap.
Yeah, but how about the fact that Mowers, the kid, is out there playing against Forsberg, center to center? I mean, that tells me that there's a lot of trust in the kid Mowers when you play against a Peter Forsberg in a 2-0 game.
Dave Lewis
this year.
Dave Lewis really trusts his hockey intelligence. He's a very bright kid. He works hard and he's strong enough.
Anderson shot blocked. Chelios then takes him down. Hatcher and Chelios now are playing together regularly. Intercepted shot. Again a save by Legacy on Bonby. Manny Legacy on Bonby, the least likely Colorado Avalanche player to score a goal, had one of the best chances of the game. Hatcher's got it. We welcome those of you who have been watching that Ranger Flyer game with Bill Clement and John Davidson. I'm Gary Thorne. The Detroit Red Wings have a 2-0 lead in this game. It has been a big defensive battle. Tommy Salo in net for Colorado and Manny Legacy at the other end for Detroit. Schneider got a power play goal into the second period, and Datsyuk has scored one. An even strength goal, 4-on-4 here in the third, and that's brought in offside by the Avs.
Couple of goals in this hockey game. It looked like it was going to be tight all afternoon. Seconds to go in the second period on a power play. A faceoff was won, and Matthew Schneider dinged one off the crossbar. That gave Detroit a 1-0 lead. Here in the third period, Pavel Datsyuk came out and made it 2-0 Detroit.
Datsuk's had a great game, winning a ton of faceoffs, a goal plus the faceoff win on that first goal, the power play goal. So he's been very, very sharp.
Clark back. Datsyuk got there, partially blocked the attempt out to Milan Hayduk. Hayduk sent it out of the zone. Detroit's following through on those checks throughout this game, as they have made it tough on the Avalanche to find room to move.
And Gary, we mentioned Mark Mowers playing center against Forsberg. The defensemen have played well against Sakic and Forsberg. You got Hatcher, you got Lidstrom, you got Matthew Schneider. Neither Joe Sakic nor Peter Forsberg has a shot in this game yet.
How amazing is that, huh? For a team that's had only 7 goals in the last 6 games, including this one, and only 1 on that game Thursday in Colorado against Detroit.
There's Chelios again, staying right up near the blue line on Joe Sakic.
Mowers in the middle. Sakic took it away. Sakic will send it in. They'll change it up. Manny Legacy back in behind the net. Manny Legacy 1-1 against Colorado this year. 3-1 in his career against the Avs. And Legacy looking more and more like he may be the starting goaltender in game 1 of the playoffs. Chelios gets back there and touches that one up. 9:30 to go, third period. Red Wings lead. To go. Full house here in Detroit, cheering on a Red Wing 2-0 lead.
Colorado's only had 4 shots so far in the third period.
Pavel Datsyuk on the faceoff. He actually won it, but they couldn't control it. Sent back out through center. Through 2 periods of play, Detroit had won 60% of the draws, led by Datsyuk and Steve Yzerman on faceoffs.
Gary, here's what I've been impressed with about Detroit in the 2 games, Thursday night and today. At their own blue line, and watch here, they always have the opposition outnumbered. You never have more bodies at Detroit's blue line than Detroit has.
Bob Buckner said today, talking with him before the game, he said, I can't believe how we played Thursday night. He said all night long Detroit had 4 guys lined up in the blue line, and we continued to try and pass and skate through it. He said we've got to dump into the zone and go chase. We can't play that kind of a game That one shot wide by Datsuk, and Joe Sakic said, we're just too fancy. We're trying to do too much fancy stuff, and we've got to go back and play a more simpler game.
And that's from a guy that can play fancy, that's saying, I don't even need to play that way or shouldn't play like that.
How much do they miss Alex Tanguay? We were just talking off camera or during the commercial. They need that other top 6 forward in their lineup.
There is Joe Sakic. They've had the 6 forwards together just 19 of 77 games this year. Someone has been out of that big 6 forward group, and there's the struggle offensively we've been talking about.
Still only 7 goals scored in the last 5 2/3 games and most of the third period here. If they don't get one, it'll be 7 goals in their last 6 games.
Alex Tanguay continues out of that lineup, and the question as to when he's going to be back and playing. This one dumped in by Steve Yzerman. Behind the net, Tommy Salo. Salo this year has won 1 and lost a couple of games against Detroit. He's 6-9-5 in his career, and that's going to be whistled on an offside. Want to remind you, coming up, we've got 6-time player of the year Nika Sorenstam going against the 14-year-old phenom Michelle Wee. She vies for the first major of the year at the Kraft Nabisco Championship. 3rd round action comes your way next. It's right here on ABC Championship Television.
You know, the other thing in this game, guys, Paul Kariya is known for speed. Solani speed, Sakic speed. Every time they get the puck in the neutral zone, there's a Red Wing player, mostly defense, standing right in their face. Kariya had the puck a moment ago before this last faceoff, and as soon as he received the puck, Chelios was right there, velcroed against him. They just take away the speed.
We see it all the time. You control the neutral zone, you neutralize the speed.
Zetterberg dumped it back into the corner. The other thing you hear in all sports, especially when you get towards playoff time, you must be able to adjust. If you cannot adjust, you will not win. Because teams are going to try and shut down your strength, and you've got to find a way to open it back up again. Cleared around Thomas at the blue line. Big hit in the corner behind the play. Fisher got it. Gary Fisher put the shot on, and it's dumped back in. Chris Gratton got hit.
Yeah.
And he got up and heads to the bench now. He felt that one. The Red Wings, 7:24 to go. They've got the lead, and they have dictated play. Red Wings, 2-on-1 opportunity maybe. Moving back up. Mowers in the middle. Was open. Lost the puck. Shot. What a save! Tommy Salo out of nowhere on McCarty. Because the puck came out of nowhere and ended up on Darren McCarty's stick.
And how about the pass by Yuri Fisher out of his own zone to set that up?
Cleared back into the corner. Konowalchuk. Mowers on him. Came free to Forsberg momentarily. Mowers took it away. Lidstrom pinned him up. And the Red Wings were able to move it out. Red Wings looking for that put-away goal. They've got the 2-0 lead. And they're making quick line changes here in this third period.
Still only 4 shots for Colorado in this third period.
And it's 26-26 shots in the game. Paul Kariya sent it in. There you see Detroit lining it up. Hatcher takes his man down. Hatcher reaching in, trying to pull it out. Takes the hit from behind. Barnaby and he were doing battle. Chelios gets the puck. More and more, Chelios and Hatcher teamed up defensively.
And Hatcher doesn't lose battles, does he, in his own zone? Right? Try to take the puck away from him.
He looks, we saw the game, we did the game the other night. He looks 50 to 60% faster and stronger tonight than he did Thursday.
I think so. The Red Wings as a whole have played a much better game. I said they were pretty good defensively on Thursday night, but Colorado still deserved to win. But Manny Legacy beat them. Today, the Detroit Red Wings right now are owning this game as a team, with or without Manny Legacy.
They have a chance to go 3-1 on the season series if they can come away with a victory here today against Colorado. Both of these clubs have played very well within their own conference. As Colorado's 30-14-10 in the conference, Detroit's 35-14-9 against Western opponents. The Avalanche, 5:58 left, and another one offside.
There have been some great playoff moments for the Colorado Avs. When we come back, we'll show you one of the best.
I said, Joe.
It's all over the place. Does ads lives there. Fans never let go of their love of Raymond Bourque in Boston. Came back to the Stanley Cup won by another team, and hundreds of thousands turned out. Government Plaza in Boston. I don't think that's ever happened before in any sport. Off the near side. Here's Zetterberg just holding it in. They cycle it down low. Zetterberg cutting into the middle-headed block. Shanahan trying to dish through. Sakic's got it. Sakic dropped it back in his own netminder. Tommy Salo dropped it off behind the net.
Maltby is one mad guy. He got dumped by Peter Forsberg. Maltby went to the bench for a change, and he was having a very, very animated discussion with the referee.
Blake sends it in. Konowalchuk, foot moved in. Down low, not quite. Lidstrom, good breakup. That one bounced off Konowalchuk's stick. As the Avalanche send everybody in with 5 minutes to go to try and find a goal. Thomas put that one into the corner. Detroit, Thomas stepped up. Gets it back. Datsuk cutting into the middle. Pass to Datsuk. Defenseman fell. But the pass a little bit behind Pavel Datsuk. Set in wide. Manny Legacy back to get it. Legacy looking for his 21st win of the year.
Gary, the first man back was Datsuk. He's the man that lost the puck. I mean, that's how hard the forwards for Detroit back check. It's not all about them scoring goals. It's how hard they work away from the puck.
Vannanen sends it in. Dave Lewis has really instilled that. Not that they didn't have it before with Scotty Bowman, but they have kept that each end of the ice work ethic going this year.
Well, Manny Legacy not only wants the W here, he would like the shutout. That's not his priority. But he's allowed 9 goals in the last 5 minutes of the third period, including one in Colorado on Thursday night that cost him that shutout.
As an ex-goaltender, I'm not saying a word.
That a good boy.
You don't have to.
That goal came in 1928 by Konowalchuk on Thursday. 1928 of the third, costing Manny Legacy the shutout. Chelios and Hatcher stay together. Chelios gets taken hard to the wall over there. He'll turn around and see who that was. It was Teemu Selanne. Selanne got him good. Selanne's trying to pick up for the offense he hasn't been able to give them by playing a more physical game.
I'm sure Selanne probably owes him a few.
Yeah,
does
pretty good
over the years.
Doesn't.
Hundreds.
Peter Forsberg with it. Forsberg, Steve Yzerman on him. Chelios tips that one up and into the seats.
Again, look where Chelios is. As soon as somebody from the other team gets the puck near the blue line, he stays right up. I mean, he's right there. You know, he was traded, or actually, yes, traded from Chicago, speaking of Chris Chelios, for Anders Eriksson, who's now playing in Columbus, and 2 first-rounders. One of them is a defenseman, a young guy named McCarthy, and the other one turned out to be Adam Monroe, who's a goaltender who's played a little bit for Chicago this year. So, I mean, it's really turned out for, that's 1999 for Chris Chelios. I mean, he's really defied time, hasn't he?
Absolutely. And has been playing tougher and tougher as we get closer to the playoffs. You've seen the feistiness of Chelios pick up in each passing game. Forsberg tied up, could not move it in. Forsberg is, you can just tell, is really frustrated out there. Every time he's turned around, he's had at least one Detroit Red Wing hanging on.
And layers of guys waiting in case he beats the first guy.
Can't get over the blue line.
No, can't get in, and you're not going to carry it, and that one deflects up and over.
It's a sleeper hold being put on by the Red Wings.
First 56 games of this hockey season, Colorado Avs were shut out twice. In the last 20 games, they have been shut out 4 times.
And that's the offense that still is tied for 4th in the National Hockey League, but not lately. They have not had a shot in the last 9 minutes, the Avalanche. That's how tough Detroit's been.
Now Chris Chelios doesn't have a stick. He's got to get it. He's gone to get it.
Comes over near side, picks it up as the Avs control it in the offensive zone. Big swing around by Konowalchuk. Datsuk dug it out. He rolls to center. Adam Foote just poked it away from Thomas. Thomas will drop it back into his own end. When defense has been needed, we have seen Thomas out there a lot in this game for the Detroit Red Wings. Near side to Fisher, to Hull. Hull will ship it in. Red Wings change.
Does Detroit have anybody forward-wise that can't play a 2-way game?
The answer to that is you don't play on this team. Intercepted. Whitney trying to move it in. Can't. Shot. Somehow fanned on. Or maybe blocked by Hendrickson.
Or Adam Foote. One of those 2 guys got a chunk of it.
Stick got in on it on what looked like a great chance. Brendan Shanahan in his own end. Shanahan goes to the middle. Avs were changing. Way offside here. They got to wait. Stripped of the puck from behind. Yzerman goes back to get it. Great reach in. Sent into the middle and on goal. Tommy Salo dishes it off. Puck has to turn the net. 2-0 lead. 1:45 left to go here in the third period. Adu's on the right with him. That one knocked down by Lidstrom. Played in behind the net. Empty net now as the Colorado Avalanche pull their goaltender with 1:40 left to go. Extra skater. Blake's moving in for the Avalanche down low. Shot fanned on. Empty net, remember. Zetterberg gets wrestled away at the red line. Lost control of it as Blake got a piece of him. Sakic picks it up. Sakic trying to dish it into the middle. Hatcher blocked it. Moved up near side. Sakic kept it in. Blake moving in. Forsberg in. Forsberg right through the paint. Turns, shoots. Didn't get it on net. He didn't have an angle. Came up to the near side. Adam Foote. Foote paid a price there, and McCarty just leveled it. In behind the net, Maltby cleared it around. Held in again by Blake. Maltby again clears it up and out of the zone. 1 minute to go.
For a while there, Detroit was minus a man. They had a bad line change. That's about the only mistake they've made all night.
Manny Legacy fans want him to shoot. He's got an empty net to shoot at the other end. Under a minute left to go. The goals, Matthew Snyder, Lidstrom and Hull. Datsuk, Hull at Chelios. 2-0 lead. The chant is Manny. Chelios just put that hit on. Sakic shot. Chelios blocked it. Played back to the point. Looking near side. Reaching in Sakic. Couldn't get it. Loose at center. Unselfishly, Zetterberg sends it up rather than shooting.
But if he'd known it was going to be an icing, he probably would have taken the shot. He was trying to feather it in to avoid the icing, which was the smart play.
23.6 seconds to go. 2-0 Detroit. The fans love their goaltender, Manny Legacy, who's been solid. 2 games in a row against the Colorado Avalanche.
26 saves for Manny Legacy so far.
Timeout's been called here by Colorado. Adam Foote had to play the puck, right? Sometimes when you have to play the puck, it hurts because you can get nailed into the boards. And Darren McCarty moved across.
Ooh, as soon as you turn your shoulder, if you're a right-hand shot there, you open your body up just to get killed.
Oh, got accordion into the boards. Manny Legacy said, listen, my job is to give my team a chance to win a game. That's all I want to do. Well, he's done that 2 games in a row against Colorado. Struggled a little bit the previous games, right? But it was old-fashioned hard work that got him back into the groove.
If Detroit wins, he'll have 103 points. San Jose, Colorado. Vancouver's going to be playing. They've got a chance to move in on the Colorado Avalanche. They're in the same division, remember. And if Colorado loses that division lead, they're going to fall down not to 3rd or 4th, but 5th.
They could drop to 5th if Dallas passes them too.
During that whole timeout, Legacy just stared at the face-off dot and just focused and concentrated.
Off the face-off for the empty net, still at the other end. Battle along the near side boards to Blake. Blake a chance wide of the net. 15 seconds left to go here in the game. Blake's got it. Blake drops it. Detroit up 2-0. Sakic shot that got blocked. And again, shot the length of the ice. Zetterberg. It'll be another icing call, and we'll stop the clock with 2.6 left.
That time Zetterberg said, to heck with it, I'm going to go for it.
But the Detroit Red Wings are going to have back-to-back wins against the Avs.
And they did it in style today. They might have considered themselves lucky to get out of Denver with 2 points on Thursday night. They could thank Manny Legacy for those 2. But it was a top-to-bottom team effort here.
Totally agree, especially in the 3rd period when the game was on the line. That 1-0 goal gave them something. In the 3rd period, they were shut down. Colorado's only had 4 shots in this 3rd period.
Colorado's trying to get Matthew Barnaby out here, and they're saying late change. It doesn't matter. I mean, come on, guys. 2.6 seconds to go. You're down by 2.
Well, unless they think Matthew would do something against the law. I don't think he would, though.
Snyder a power play goal. Datsuk has picked up a goal. Datsuk's got a point streak, 4 games, 4 goals and assists. Legacy blocks it. He gets the shutout. The Red Wings win it by a score of 2-0. 27 saves. Manny Legacy, 3rd of the year, 6th of his career.
Well, this one didn't evaporate, and after that face-off loss by Detroit, Manny had to make an incredible save with his left.